So, good evening students. I'm Dr. Deepak, Senior Zoology Faculty here at Knowledge Hub. So, I'll be continuing with the remaining questions of zoology. So, we have question number 170 on the screen. So, in both the sexes of cockroach, a pair of jointed filamentous structures called anal cerci are present on. There are 4 options given over here: 8th and 9th segment, 11th segment, 5th segment and 10th segment. So what is the correct option? So the correct option is option number 4. On 10th segment, you will be able to find the anal cerci, which are not same as anal segments, anal styles. So you will be able to find the anal styles only in the male cockroach. This is anal cerci which are found in both male as well as in the female cockroach, and these structures are used for the cockroach for its sensation. It helps to locate the surroundings. Moving to the next question, that is question number 171. Which of the following factors will not affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium? So gene migration is going to affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Genetic recombination is going to affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, and genetic drift is also going to affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So, according to the question, which of the following factors will not affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium? So, option 2, constant gene pool. This is also a question from evolution. Next, match the following. This is again from neural control and coordination. So, you are supposed to match list 1 with list 2. So, pons virally, it connects the different regions of the brain. So, A3. Next, hypothalamus is a neuroendocrine organ which has neurosecretory cells. So, B4. Next, medulla. Medulla is going to have different centers. It has cardiac center, respiratory center, vasomotor center, and it is going to control different activities. So, medulla option C will be matched with 2. Next, cerebellum. It provides additional space for neurons and it regulates the posture and balance. So, what is the correct option over here? Option number 4. Moving on to the next question. Flippers of the penguins and dolphins are the example of. So, the flippers of dolphin and penguins here are used for swimming. So, functionally, the flippers of penguins and dolphins are similar, but structurally they are not same, right? So here if you see the 4 options: convergent evolution, divergent evolution, adaptive radiation and natural selection. Option 1, it is convergent evolution, because these structures, the flippers of penguins and dolphins, are the examples of analogous organs. They are structurally different but functionally similar. Moving on to the next question. This is a question from heart. So, following are the structures of pathway for the conduction of action potential through the heart. So, you can just read over all the 5, A, B, C, D, E. So, the conduction starts from SA node, sinoatrial node, which is called pacemaker of the heart. Then it goes to AV node, atrioventricular node, and from there it goes to the AV bundle, and from AV bundle to the bundle branch. And from bundle branch it goes to Purkinje fibers. So what is the correct option over here? What is the correct option over here? Option 3 is correct. Next, the following diagram shows restriction sites in the E. coli cloning vector PBR322. What is the role of X and Y genes? This is a question from biotechnology, and you can see the diagram. This is a diagram which is directly picked up from NCERT, PBR322 plasmid, given by Bolivar and Rodriguez. Here you have 2 genes, gene X and gene Y. So what are the functions of these 2 genes? See, first you have to recognize what are these genes. So gene X is ORI and gene Y is ROP. You will be able to find the same parts given in your NCERT textbook. So the function of gene X or the protein X is to regulate the copy number, and the function of gene Y or protein Y is to regulate the replication of plasmid. So the correct option would be option number 4, right? So I'm done with certain questions of zoology. The remaining questions of zoology will be discussed by Aditya sir. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Deepak sir, so much. So, hello students, and I hope your examinations went well. You will be securing good ranks in this examination. And yes, so remaining part of the zoology, let's continue with it. So, we have a very next question we have here is given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. So, simple assertion reason question. FSH acts upon ovarian follicles in females and Leydig cells in males. Now, FSH obviously it acts upon ovarian follicles and it stimulates the growth in them. But in males, the FSH will act upon Sertoli cells. It will act upon Sertoli cells. Leydig cells are acted upon by LH or ICSH as it is called in males, right? So, therefore, this assertion is false. It is not true. On the other hand, if we see the reason part, the reasoning here states that the growing ovarian follicles secrete estrogen in female, while interstitial cells secrete androgen in males in human beings. So this is true. So here we go that the correct option is A is false, but R is true. Right? Let's move on to the next question. Again a statement, which of the following statement is incorrect? Now, bioreactors are used to produce small-scale bacterial cultures. If we see the very first statement, you don't even need to read the other statements. You see, bioreactors, they are huge. It's given in NCERT. They are used for batch cultures, continuous cultures in industries. They are not used to produce small-scale bacterial cultures. Therefore, the incorrect statement is first one. Bioreactors are used to produce small-scale cultures. Now again we have a match the following type of question. If we see here, list 1 contains axoneme, cartwheel pattern, cristae and satellite. Now we know that satellite, okay, so this axoneme is a part of cilia and flagella, right? Then the cartwheel pattern is shown by centriole, correct? Then you have the cristae. Cristae is the inner foldings of the mitochondrial membrane. And satellite is the secondary constriction present on the chromosome, right? So we have the option A2, B1, C4 and D3. Moving on to the next question. If we see here, we have a list of joints, right? And if you have studied skeletal system, you are well aware with the type of joints. So first let's see the hinge joint. It catches my mind. So the hinge joint, if you see here, it is present in the knee. It helps to move your knee up to an extent of 90 degrees, right? So this, if you see C4th option, there is only one option which contains C4, right? Therefore, you can just mark it right and you will get the correct option. If you see other points, A is 3, that is skull do not allow movement, hence it has fibrous joints. Then cartilaginous joints are present in the adjacent vertebra and ball and socket joint is present in the humerus and the pectoral girdle. Moving on to the next question, if we see here, given below are some stages of human evolution, incorrect sequence, past to recent. Now if we see, the very first is Homo habilis, right? Obviously, we have studied it in NCERT. The very first human to evolve after Australopithecus, Shivapithecus, Ramapithecus was the Homo habilis, the first member of the Homo genus. And if you see here, only one option contains first A. Therefore, this is the correct option, right? Moving on, we have 3 types of diagrams here, and if you see, and if you have read NCERT, these diagrams are directly from NCERT, right? The very first structure you are seeing is a skeletal muscle, the second one is a smooth muscle, and the third one is a cardiac muscle, which looks like a skeletal muscle but acts like a smooth muscle. Okay, so if you see here, the yes. So if you see here, we have the skeletal muscles located in the triceps, smooth muscles located in the stomach, and the cardiac muscles located in the heart. Therefore, the correct option is 4th. Here we have the correct option. If we see the next question, we have stages of cell division, and if we want to arrange them, the very first stage is G1, right? If you remember the stages, G1, then S, then G2, then mitotic phase, and then again it goes into interphase and it repeats. right? So if I arrange it, so we have first G1 phase E, then we have the synthetic phase C. So EC, we have the our option, correct option, ECADB, second option, right? That is correct. Now if we move on to the next question, we have which of the following is not a natural or traditional contraceptive methods. Now the natural or traditional contraceptive methods, they completely rely on hormonal and behavioral changes. They do not incorporate any kind of physical things into the act, right? So lactational amenorrhea, it is the absence of menstrual cycle during lactational period after parturition. Then you have coitus interruptus and periodic abstinence. These all three are natural methods. Whereas vaults are plastic caps which are inserted into the cervix, right? Therefore, it is a physical thing and it is not a natural or traditional method of contraception. Move on to the next question. You have here certain diseases and they are asking you whether the disease is fungal, protozoal or bacterial. So if you see here, the first we have is typhoid, and the typhoid, it is caused by bacteria. Right after match the following, what you need to do, as soon as you match one thing, you just go for the options to save your time. So if you see here, typhoid and bacteria A to 4, you have only one option, A to 4, right? So it's not confusing, you can directly select it and move forward. So A4, B3, C1, D3. Let's move on to the next question we have. Which of the following factors are favorable for the formation of oxyhemoglobin in alveoli? Now this was a good question in this paper, right? So we have low PCO2, that is correct, and high H plus concentration, this becomes incorrect. A high H plus concentration will not favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Again, low PCO2 and high temperature. Again, low PCO2 is correct, but high temperature is not correct. High temperature again will favor the dissociation of oxyhemoglobin rather than the formation of the oxyhemoglobin. High PO2 and high PCO2, this will cause a competition in the hemoglobin molecule, and hemoglobin has more affinity towards carbon dioxide. Therefore, if PCO2 is high, it will want to attach with carbon dioxide more. And the last option, high PO2 and lesser H plus concentration, both the conditions are favorable for the production of oxyhemoglobin, right? Therefore, our option is 4. Moving on, we have the next statement. Bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ where all blood cells including lymphocytes are produced. That is very true. All blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, even platelets, they are produced in the bone marrow. So the statement 1 is true, right? And then both bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironments for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes, right? Okay, that is also correct, right? Moving on to the next question, we have an ECG. If you remember an ECG, here is the P wave, then the QRS complex, and then there is a T wave. So P, Q, R, S complex and the T wave, right? If you see here, the P wave is the depolarization of atria. So A to 3, again going with the tactics, match the following, match the first, then see the option. So A3 is only one. Again, select it, move forward, save your time, people, right? Moving on to the next question, if we see, the cerebral hemispheres connected by nerve tracts are known as corpus callosum. They are known as corpus callosum. And the brain stem consists medulla oblongata, pons and cerebrum, right? So here, if you see, this statement is correct. The cerebral hemispheres, indeed the right cerebral hemisphere and the left cerebral hemisphere, they are connected with a white nerve fiber tract called as corpus callosum. But the brain stem does not contain cerebrum or cerebellum, it only contains pons, midbrain, right, and medulla oblongata, that is the brain stem. So the statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect, right? Moving on, if we see here, right, so again we have a match the following question, right? If you see match the following question, A, unicellular glandular epithelium, goblet cells of alimentary canal, right? The goblet cells secrete mucus present in your alimentary canal stomach. They are unicellular in nature. Then you have B, compound epithelium. Compound epithelium is present in the moist surface, right? Moist surface of your buccal cavity. Then you have multicellular glandular epithelium. It is present in the salivary glands, and the endocrine glandular epithelium, which is present in the pancreas. Pancreas is an endocrine gland, right? So we have A3, B4, C1, D2, right? First option. Moving on to the next question. We have again one more match the following. There were a total of 20 match the following questions in this paper, right? So we have here the structures. These are questions from cockroach from NCERT. These structures used for storing food. So what you call crop is used for storing food, right? So A is 4, again A4, A4, two options. Then you see B, ring of 6 to 8 blind tubules at a junction of foregut and midgut that are gastric ceca, that are hepatic ceca, which release digestive juice. So B2, A4, B2, you got the answer straight away, right? Moving on to the next question. If you see here, era, right? So if you see era is very simple. You need to remember it's factual from the NCERT, right? So Mesozoic era belongs to birds and reptiles. Then Proterozoic era belongs to lower invertebrates. Cenozoic era belongs to mammals, and the Paleozoic era belongs to fish and amphibia, right? If we see here the next question, mitochondria and chloroplast are both double membrane bound organelles, right? So that is true. We have seen both the mitochondria and the chloroplast, they have two membranes, inner and outer membrane. Inner membrane of mitochondria is relatively less permeable as compared to the chloroplast, right? So this is not true, this is false, right? So we get here statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Why? Because the mitochondrial inner membrane allows exchange of certain substances from the intermembrane matrix, but the chloroplast inner membrane will not allow that, right? Moving on, we have the ABO blood grouping system, and it is asking you the genetic combination of things. So as per ABO blood grouping system, the blood group of father is B+. So B+ means we don't have to do anything with plus, because in the options they are not including RH factor. They are just including the main blood group. So if you take B blood group can be a combination of IB or IB and IB, right? And if we take A blood group can be a combination of IA or IA, right? If you see, the father is B+, mother is A, and the child is O. Child is O, it means that the child will be small I, right? And if the child is small I, the parents, they have to be heterozygous. They have to be heterozygous, otherwise it won't lead to a O positive child, right? So hence from here, you can see the answer that only in this scenario, the parent should be heterozygous, then only the child will be O blood group, otherwise not. Therefore, we get the answer as 3A only. Moving on to the next question. Again, we have another kind of match the following question. So, here you see exophthalmic goiter, right? So, exophthalmic goiter is occurring due to hypersecretion of thyroid hormone and protruding eyeballs. Exophthalmic means the eyeballs start to protrude out from the eye sockets. Then you have acromegaly. So acromegaly, if you see here, excessive secretion of growth hormone in adult stage, right? Then Cushing syndrome and cretinism. Cretinism is straightforward. Hyposecretion of thyroid hormone and stunted growth, right? So what are you getting from here? A to 4, right? So A to 4 straight away. Sorry. A to 3, not 4. Okay. Then we have match list 1 with match list 2. Again, another match the following type of question, right? So if we see here, the RNA polymerase 3, it synthesizes small nuclear RNAs and tRNAs. So A is 4, and hence here only from one matching you will get your answer. So A4 means RNA polymerase 3 will synthesize small nuclear RNAs and transfer RNAs, whereas the termination of transcription will be taken on by rho factor. The splicing of exons will be caused by small nuclear ribonuclear proteins, and the Tata box is a promoter present in prokaryotic genome, right? Then we have here identify the correct options, and again you see gonadotropin releasing hormone, it is secreted by hypothalamus. It goes on and acts on the anterior pituitary to secrete LH and FSH, both the gonadotropins, right? Luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. And on the other hand, the LH will stimulate Leydig cells. It will stimulate Leydig cells, right, to secrete androgens, and the FSH will stimulate Sertoli cells to release certain factors. Androgens will be released, it will go into the Sertoli cells and cause the formation of spermatids or spermatogenesis. And after spermatids, the factors which are being released from the Sertoli cells, they will cause spermiogenesis. Hence, the correct option is 3. FSH, Leydig cells, Sertoli cells, and spermiogenesis. Moving on to the next question, if we see the following statements about non-chordates, right? So let's see the statements. Post-anal tail is absent, that is correct. Post-anal tail is a proper chordate characteristic, right? Heart is dorsal if present. That is correct or not? Yes? That is correct. Heart is dorsal. In vertebrates, we have a ventral heart, whereas in invertebrates, the heart is dorsal if it is present, right? Central nervous system is dorsal? No. Vertebrate central nervous system is dorsal. Their nervous system is ventral, right? So from here, if we see, and the notochord is absent, that is correct. Notochord is a characteristic of chordates only. And pharynx is perforated by gill slits? No. That is not true. So from here we get B, D and E only. That is the first option.Moving on to the next question. We will see here, choose the correct statement given below regarding juxtaglomerular nephron, right? So loop of Henle of juxtamedullary nephron runs deep into medulla. That is correct. That is correct. We don't need to move to the other option, right? Okay. If we see the next question, Gauss's competitive exclusion principle states that two closely related species competing for different resources cannot exist indefinitely. No, this is false. Why this is false? Because they are seeing different resources. If you are going for different resources, where is the competition? Right? You have to go for the same resources, then only you will have competition, then only Gauss's competitive exclusion principle will come into play. And if you see the statement 2, according to Gauss's principle, during competition, the inferior will be eliminated. This may be true if resources are limiting. This statement is true, and hence we get the answer as statement 1 is false, but statement 2 is true. Moving on to the last question of our zoology section. If you see here, regarding catalytic enzyme of an enzyme action, select the correct sequential steps, right? So very first thing, the substrate will bind to the active site first, right? Then the substrate enzyme complex formation will take place, 2, right? Then the chemical bonds of the substrate will be broken down, 3, right? Then release of the products, 4, and the free enzyme will be ready to bind with the another substrate. Correct? With this, you will get the answer as EADCP. So with this, we finish our zoology section. We hope you enjoyed it with us zoology people. We'll be taking a 2 minutes break and our team will be back with physics discussion. Stay tuned.
Are you bored of your typical online classes that don't cater to your unique learning needs? Introducing our HighFlix program, online learning, offline doubt sessions. With HighFlix, convenience is on your side. With HighFlex, flexibility is on your side. With HighFlex, engaging classes are on your side. With HighFlex, accessibility is on your side. With HighFlex, stress-free learning is on your side. Step into the future of learning with our HighFlex program. What are you waiting for? Join HighFlex now and say hi to our experts in JEE, NEET and Foundation coaching.
NEET Elite, your gateway to success in medical entrance exams. Are you an ambitious 10th, 11th grade student dreaming of a seat in top medical colleges, including AIMS? Join our NEET Elite batch. Look no further. Our comprehensive coaching program is tailored.
Hello children, welcome to the physics section of NEET 2024 paper discussion. I am Murthy, senior physics faculty from Knowledge Hub by Sri Chaitanya. Let us move on to the first question. This is about the A bob reeled in a horizontal plane by means of a string with an initial speed omega rpm. The tension in the string is T. If speed becomes 2 omega while keeping the same radius, the tension in the string becomes. This question is about the circular motion. If you consider a bob which is reeled along a horizontal circle like this, and it is a radius, and tension is towards the center, and tension is provides the necessary centripetal force, therefore it is mr omega square. The tension is directly proportional to omega square. Here omega is doubled, therefore the tension will become 4 times. Let us move on to the next question. A horizontal force 10 Newton is applied on block A as shown in the figure. Now what is the force between 2 kg and 3 kg? Here I am telling you one shortcut. Whenever there are two contact bodies, the force between the two blocks is given by, suppose this is some tension T. This is equal to mass of remaining blocks divided by total mass into force applied. Now, which one is the remaining mass? After that, which mass is left over? It is 3 kg. Therefore, it is 3 divided by total mass is 2 plus 3 times it is 10. Therefore, the answer is 3 by 5 into 10, which is 6 newtons. Let us move on to the next one. The maximum elongation of a steel wire of 1 meter length if the elastic limit of the steel and Young's modulus. Elastic limit means the maximum stress it can withstand, and also Young's modulus given, then what is the elongation? Basically, elongation delta L is given by FL by AY, where F is the force, L is the length, A is the area, and Y is the Young's modulus. This can be written as F by A, the maximum stress it can withstand, divided by Y. Now, F by A is the maximum stress, and L is the length, and Y is the Young's modulus. If you substitute, you will get the third option, that is 4 millimeters. Fourth question. In a uniform magnetic field of 0.049 Tesla, a magnetic needle performs 20 complete oscillations in 5 seconds as shown. Here it is completing 20 oscillations in 5 seconds. Therefore, the frequency is given by F is equal to number of oscillations 20 and time is 5. Therefore, it is 4 oscillations per second, and frequency of a magnet is given by 1 by 2 pi times of root over mb divided by I. Here frequency is 4, 1 by 2 pi into root over m stands for magnetic moment, that what we have to calculate, and b is given as 0.049, which can be written as 4.9 into 10 to the power of minus 2 divided by I stands for moment of inertia, which is 9.8 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Solving this, you get the value of m as 1280 pi square. Moving on to the fifth question. If c is the velocity of light, and all these options are is about the properties of a photon. A photon has energy E is equal to h nu from quantum theory, where h is the Planck's constant and nu is the frequency. The velocity of the photon is always equal to the velocity of light. Therefore, A, B statements are correct. And momentum is given by, momentum is equal to m into c, which is E by c. E by c is nothing but h nu by c. Therefore, option C is also correct. And D, in a photon electron collision, both total energy and total momentum are conserved. Yes, that is also correct. And photon possesses positive charge. It is wrong because photon doesn't carry any charge with it. Therefore, the correct option is 4. Let us move on to the sixth question. The output Y of given logic gate is similar to the output of any of these gates. Suppose if I given A here, because this acts like a NOT gate, therefore it will become A bar. This also behaves like a NOT gate, it will become B bar. Now A bar and B bar are given, and this is a NOR gate. Therefore, it will be A bar plus B bar whole bar. If you apply De Morgan law, it will become A bar bar dot B bar bar, which is finally A dot B. Next, seventh question. Consider the following statements A and B and identify the correct answer. For a solar cell, IV characteristic of a solar cell will be like this. Therefore, it is in the fourth quadrant of the graph. And in reverse biased PN junction diode, current measured is due to majority charge carrier. Actually, in PN junction diode, it is P and N material, and there is an electric field here. And during the reverse bias, all the charge carriers, majority charge carriers will move away from the junction, whereas minority charge carriers are forced to cross the junction. Therefore, the current which is called drift current is only because of minority charge carriers. Therefore, option B is wrong. Therefore, the correct answer is 3. A is correct and B is incorrect. Moving on to the 8th question. A thermodynamic system is taken through a cycle A, B, C, D, A. The work done by the gas along the path BC is. Children, many of you have calculated the entire cycle work done, but it is wrong. You are asked to find. Observe this. They want to confuse you, and they have given a cyclic process, and you will be tempted to find the total work done in the cyclic process. But actually, we are asked to find only for the path BC, and this path BC is an isochoric process. During an isochoric process, no change in the volume, therefore no work is done. Therefore, option 3 is correct. Moving on to the 9th one. A thin, flat circular disc of radius 4.5 centimeters is placed gently over the surface of water. If the surface tension of water is given, then excess force is required. The surface tension force acts along the edge of the circular disc. Therefore, surface tension force is given by surface tension multiplied by length along which it acts. Therefore, it is T into 2 pi r. By substituting the value of surface tension and radius, you will be getting 19.8 millinewtons. Next, 10th question. At any instant of time, the displacement of any particle is given by 2t minus 1 under the influence of a force 5 Newton. The value of instantaneous power. The instantaneous power is given by force multiplied by the velocity. Here, the force is 5 newtons, but how to calculate velocity? The velocity is given by ds by dt, where s is the displacement, and it is d by dt of 2t minus 1, which gives you 2. And product of this force and velocity will give you the 10. Therefore, third option is correct. Moving on to 11th one. It is about radioactivity. In this, there is an element is taken named by X, and which is having atomic number 82 and mass number 290. Now, there is a sequence of particles emitted. The first particle is being alpha. Alpha carries 4 units of mass and 2 units of charge. Therefore, it will become 80 and this will become 286 because it carries the 4 units of mass. And then E plus means it is positron. Whenever positron is emitted, atomic number decreases by 1, therefore it will become 79, and no change in mass number, therefore it is 286. And then a beta minus is emitted. Beta minus is nothing but an electron. When electron is emitted, atomic number increases by 1, no change in mass number, therefore it is 286 again. And finally, once again an electron is emitted, therefore this will become 81 and 286. Therefore, the finally Q has atomic number 81 and mass number 286. Therefore, our correct option is 2. Let us see the 12th question. This is about the prism topic. A light ray enters through a right angle prism, means the angle of the prism A is equal to 90 degrees here. At a point P with the angle of incidence 30 degrees, you can see here it is making an angle 30 degrees as shown in the figure. It travels to the prism parallel to the BC and emerges parallel to the face AC. Here, when it parallel to the AC, then the angle of incidence or angle of refraction here must be equal to critical angle, and this one is R1. R1 plus R2 must be equal to the angle of the prism according to the properties of prism. R1 plus critical angle C equal to A is 90 here, therefore R1 must be equal to 90 minus C. Now apply Snell's law for the point P. Then 1 sin 30 degrees is equal to, we know that Snell's law mu1 sin I equal to mu2 sin R. It is mu into sin R1. By substituting mu into sin, R1 is 90 minus C and it is sin 30. By calculating the C value as C equal to sin inverse 1 by mu, we will get the answer 4. Let us move to the 13th question. This is about Faraday's law and also it is about the Lenz's law. This is from electromagnetic induction. In the above diagram, a strong bar magnet is moving towards solenoid 2 from solenoid 1. This is the first one and this is the second one. According to Lenz's law, whenever a north pole is moving away and the current will be induced in such a way that the pole will be pulled back. Therefore, the current will be in such a way that here a south pole will be created. Similarly, when a south pole is approaching and it is try to push it back, therefore here a south pole is created. For the south pole to be created, the current must be from A to B it should flow, and also in this one it should flow from D to C. That's why the correct answer is 3. Moving on to the 14th one. In an ideal transformer, the turn ratio is given. You know that NP by NS is equal to, it is VP by VS. Therefore, VP by VS by VP equal to, it is NS by NP, which is equal to 2 by 1. Therefore, option 4 is correct. Children, we are moving on to the 15th one. The graph which shows the variation 1 by lambda square and its kinetic energy E is. The de Broglie wavelength is given by 1 by lambda, lambda equal to h by root over 2me. Therefore, squaring on both sides, we have lambda square equal to h square divided by 2me. We are asked to find a relation between 1 by lambda square and E. Therefore, we will write 1 by lambda square equal to 2me by h square. 1 by lambda square is taken as y and E is taken as x. Therefore, the equation is like y equal to mx. Therefore, the correct one is second option. 16th one. If the monochromatic source is Young's double slit experiment is replaced by white light, then every color in the white light, like red to violet, every color will form a central bright band. Therefore, all these bright bands will combine, again form a white fringe. Therefore, there will be a central bright white fringe surrounded by few colored fringes. The first option is correct. Next, 17th one, given below are the two statements. One, assertion A, the potential at any axial point is given. For any dipole, the potential at any point on the axial line is given by P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Therefore, by substituting the value of R and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value as 9 into 10 to the power of 9 and P value given 4 into 10 to the power of minus 6, we will get the given value 9 into 10 to the power of 3. Children, observe this carefully. Why this plus or minus given? Here on one side it will be plus close to the positive charge and minus will be on other side of the dipole. Therefore, the assertion is correct. The reason is wrong obviously because it does not match with the expression for potential due to a dipole. Next, 18th one. Two bodies A and B of same mass undergo completely inelastic one-dimensional collision. The body A moves with a velocity v1 while body B is at rest before collision. Velocity of the system after collision. From law of conservation of momentum, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Here they are equal masses. The mass m1 m2 cancel out. You have u1 plus u2 equal to here v1 plus v2. u1 is given as v1 here. The second one is initially at rest and this v1 and v2 both are equal to v2 only. Therefore, it is 2v2 and we are asked to find v1 by v2. v1 by v2 is 2:1. Therefore, option 4 is correct. Let us see 21st one. A logic circuit provides the output y as per the following truth table. This is a very simple logic they have given. If you look at the b value, it is 0 and y value it is 1. B value it is 1, y is 0. B value 0, then y is 1. B value it is 1, then y is 0, which means y is the opposite of b or it is negative of b. Therefore, y must be equal to b bar. Here, there is nothing to do with this a. Let us move on to the next one, 22nd one. A thin spherical shell is charged by some source. The potential difference between the 2 points. For any spherical shell, the potential at any point inside is equal to potential on the surface. Therefore, there is one point P on the surface, there is a point C on at the center. The two potentials are equal, therefore the potential difference must be 0. Next, 23rd one, there are two statements given. Atoms are electrically neutral as they have contain equal number of positive and negative charges. The number of protons and number of electrons are always equal for any atom. Therefore, positive and negative charges are equal and it is neutral. And second statement is atoms of each element are stable and emit their characteristic spectrum. Yes. Now, which of the following statements are correct? Both are correct here. Next, match the list. Here there is electron transition from one orbit to another orbit or one energy level to another energy level. The wavelength emitted is given by 1 by lambda equal to r into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. It is called as Rydberg equation. Here 1 by lambda r we can write 1 by lambda is equal to r into 1 by 1 square, 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square. By substituting the r value, you can compare the lambda values. Okay, from this, if you substitute the value of r, we will get the answer. Alternatively, I am telling you one simpler method, that is, find out 1 by lambda or lambda by using a simple principle. The energy difference between the two energy levels is given by 13.6 into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. This is so many electron volts. For example, I am solving it for n2 equal to 3 to n1 equal to 2. Therefore, it is 13.6 into 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square. This is so many electron volts. It is 13.6 into 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9. It is 5 by 36. After finding this delta E, how to calculate the wavelength? The wavelength can be calculated as 1240 nanometers divided by delta E in electron volts. Using this, one can compare these values from 1 to 4. Therefore, the option number 4 is correct. Next, 25th one. If x is equal to phi sin pi t plus pi by 3 represent the motion of a particle executing simple harmonic motion, the amplitude and time period are respectively. We will compare this with standard equation y equal to a sin omega t plus phi. A stands for amplitude. In the place of a we have phi. A equal to phi and omega equal to pi. Therefore, the time period is 2 pi by omega. Therefore, 2 pi by pi is equal to 2 seconds. Therefore, amplitude is 5 and time period is 2 seconds. Here, you are supposed to observe this carefully. X is given in meters. Therefore, amplitude also must be in meters. Should not confuse with the second and fourth option. The fourth option is correct as this is amplitude is in meters and time period is in 2 seconds. We will move on to the another section of physics.
Yeah, hello my dear students, this is Naresh and let us discuss about the remaining part of the physics, and I hope so everyone read the exam very well, and as usual the paper is very comfortable. So let us go to the next question. If you see about the 26th question here, match the list 1 with the list 2. Yeah, here diamagnetic material, ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, non-magnetic materials with respect to its susceptibility, right? We know very simple theory here for non-magnetic material, susceptibility is 0. We can compare with that one. Or else diamagnetic material, so which is in between, the susceptibility is in between 0 and 1. And ferromagnetic materials, it's a more greater than 1. Then paramagnetic materials, it should be very small but positive value. So by compare this, we will get the third option. Okay. Go for the next question. A wire of length L and resistance 100 meter is divided into 10 equal parts. The first 5 parts are connected in series. First of all, when you divide that into 10 equal parts, each part resistance is 100 ohm, and in that 5 parts are connected in series. Then its resistance is 50 ohm. And remaining 5 parts are connected in parallel. Then their resistance will be, what about 10 in parallel combination? So 10 by 5, 2. These two combinations are connected in series. So the effective resistance is 52 ohm. Go for the next one. The terminal voltage of the battery whose EMF 10 volt and internal resistance 1 ohm. First, let us calculate the current here. The battery gives the current, net voltage upon net resistance is nothing but 2 amperes. And here terminal voltage, if you want to calculate, it acts as a source. So the terminal voltage is E minus IR. So 10 minus 2 into 1. So that is 8 volt. Very good. Let us go for the next question. Okay. A particle moves with uniform speed. Observe carefully, uniform speed. In a circular path, maintains varying velocity because direction changes. Okay. Direction changes. Varying velocity as well as varying acceleration. And let us discuss about the 30th question. A tightly wound 100 turns coil of radius 10 centimeter carries a current 7 ampere. And which one it is? Coil, remember, okay? Coil, circular coil. The magnitude of the magnetic field at the center of the coil. What about the form we know? That is mu naught Ni upon 2R. If you substitute the values, mu naught 4 pi into 10 power minus 7, 100 turns, current 7 amperes, and radius 10 centimeter, so 10 into 10 power minus 2 meters. By substituting the values, we will get 4.4 millitesla. And if we discuss about the 31st question, in a vernier caliper, n plus 1 divisions of vernier scale coincides with n divisions of main scale. That formula substitution, least count is equal to 1 MSD minus 1 VSD. Then we will get the form, it is 1 upon 100 into n plus 1. Let us discuss about the 32nd question. An unpolarized beam strikes a glass surface, Brewster's law. What is Brewster's law? With respect to instant angle tan of theta p, polarized angle should be equal to mu2 upon mu1. Then the reflected ray, refracted ray, we have to compare with respect to polarization. What will be the get for that? The reflected ray will completely polarized, but the refracted ray partially polarized. Okay, at Brewster's law. Okay, let us go for the 33rd question. The mass of the planet is 1/10 that of the Earth. Let it be say Earth mass m, then the planet mass m by 10, and its diameter is half that of the Earth. So let us compare with the radius. Say Earth radius r, then it will be r by 2. The acceleration due to gravity, what do we have the form for the acceleration due to gravity? That is gm upon r square. As universal constant g, so g proportional to m by r square. By compare these two, like g on Earth to g on the planet should be equal to mass of the Earth to mass of the planet into radius of the planet by radius of the Earth whole square. By substituting the values of the planet mass and this radius, we will get 3.92 is the g value on the planet. Let us go for the 34th question. A wheel of a bullock, okay, cart is rolling on a level road as shown in the figure. Below, if it is linear speed is v. Okay, let it be say linear speed means center of mass velocity is. Okay, center of mass velocity, let it be say v. And he said that it rolls. So, if you choose the ground particle is at rest, relatively, the topmost particle has the velocity 2v. That is the perfect pure condition of the rolling motion. So from this we could say the point P moves faster than the point Q. Let us go for the next question, 35. The moment of inertia of the thin rod. Whatever it is, first of all, for thin rod, about what axis? Midpoint. So if your rod is rotated about its midpoint, then moment of inertia is ml square by 12. Moment of inertia is given 2400 CGS units, gram centimeter square, and mass of the rod 400 gram. Length of the rod we have to calculate upon 12. By substituting these values, we will get the option. Third one, that is 8.5 centimeters. Go to the 36th question. Choose the correct circuit which can achieve the bridge balance. Then it is the diode with series connection of the resistance. So here it is the parallel combination. Series combination diode but reverse bias. Series combination of resistance with diode forward bias. So third option. Let us go for the 37th question. A parallel plate capacitor is charged by a connecting it to a battery with through a resistor. If I use the current in the circuit, there is a gap between the plate. So generally, between the plates of a capacitor, there is a displacement current. Displacement current and general current for a capacitor, there is a resistance in the circuit, should be in the same direction. So, out of these options, displacement current and the general current will be in the same direction is fourth option. Of course, magnitude is equal. So, fourth one. Let us discuss about the 38th question. Following graph represents a TV curves and is asking about the pressures. First, if you consider the ideal gas equation, PV by T is constant. From that, what we could say? From the graph, V by T is nothing but reciprocal of the slope. So, I could say V by T is 1 upon P, which is nothing but 1 upon slope. Means pressure, pressure is proportional to slope here. Out of the three graphs, if you can observe a point, which one has the higher slope, obviously it has more pressure. So observe these two, out of P1, P2, P3, which one has more pressure? More slope is for P1. So we can say P1 is greater than, P2 is greater than P3. Let us go for 39th question. The mass of the bob in a simple pendulum increased, mass increased, doesn't matter. Because what is the formula for simple pendulum? For time period, 2 pi root of L upon G. So there is no use with the mass after that. And made half of its original length. When compared to length, now the length will become half of the original length. Then the period of oscillation will be x by 2. Directly write the relation, T is proportional to root L. Then T1 by T2 is equal to root of L1 upon L2. Whereas L1 is L, L2 is L by 2. If you substitute that, you will get the new time period will be root 2. Let us go for the 48th question. Two haters, A and B, haters, okay. A and B have power ratings 1 kilowatt and 2 kilowatt. Those two are first connected in series. Then effective power, we could write P1, P2 upon P1 plus P2. This is for series combination. And second one, you are connected in parallel. For parallel combination, direct addition P1 plus P2. In both the cases, the power ratio is asking. So, if you take the ratio, you will get 2:9. By simply substituting P1 is 1 and P2 is 2 kilowatt. Let us go to the 41st question. If the plates of a parallel plate capacitor connected to a battery are moved close to each other. When plates are close to each other, generally what is the formula for capacity? Epsilon naught A by D. So as D decreases, capacity increases. If capacity increases, charge increases. So from that we could say A, C and E are correct. Okay, is it clear? Yeah, what is A? The charge coordinate, of course, increases. Its capacitance increases. Product of charge and the capacitance, voltage, obviously increases. Yeah, 42nd question. A small telescope has an objective of focal length 140 and eyepiece focal length 5. What is the general effective focal length? Or magnifying, we could say F naught Fe. Magnifying F naught Fe. So that effective is given and one more F naught is given. He is asking about Fe by divided by. I'm sorry, by divided by T, right? Magnifying power is F naught upon Fe. Close. From this, if you substitute the values, you will get 28. Clear? Yeah. Next. A sheet is placed on a horizontal surface in front of a strong magnetic pole. You are placed the sheet, right? A force is needed. Means for that sheet, a force is needed to hold the sheet. There is, if it is a magnet, hold the sheet. There, if it is non-magnetic, move the sheet away from the pole with uniform velocity. Move the sheet away from the pole with a uniform velocity. If it is both non-conducting, here the mistake. If non-conducting, no need, right? It won't move. So from this we can say A is correct and C is correct, obviously from this pole. B you can observe, hold the sheet if it is non-magnetic, just now I told you, if non-magnetic means no need. So simply A and C only. Let us go for 44. A metallic bar of Young's modulus. Y is given and linear coefficient is given, length is given, area of cross section is given and temperature difference also given. He is asking about the thermal compressive force. By using Young's modulus, we can calculate that YA alpha delta T. All the values are given, just a formula substitution. If you substitute, you will get 15 to 10 cube newtons. Let us discuss about 45th question, the minimum energy required to launch a satellite of mass. For example, from the surface of the earth of mass capital N, radius r, in a circular orbit at an altitude of 2r from the surface. Means, initially if it is on the surface of the earth, just imagine. From here to an orbit of radius 2r, initial energy and final energy, if you calculate, that energy required is energy difference between them. What is the point? That is the common mechanism for energy concept. And if you substitute here the values, energy of the satellite on the surface of the earth to the orbit of 2r radius, you will get 5 gmm by 6r. 46th question. 10 microfarad capacitor connected to 210 volt. So RMS value if you can consider 210 by, 210 root 2. Capacity given, voltage given. What is asking? Peak value of the current. The peak value of the current is voltage 210 root 2 by resistance 1 upon C omega, which is nothing but capacitor, reactance of a capacitor. If I substitute the values 210 root 2 and whatever the capacity, 10 microfarad, so 10 into 10 power minus 6 and whatever the omega 2 pi f. So 100, the value is given 50, so 100 pi. If you substitute these values, okay, 100 pi, if you substitute these values, 1 second, yeah, if you substitute 100 pi, then we will get, by solving the calculation, we will get Yeah, it is 0.93. Okay, we will get 0.93 is the answer. Yeah. Okay, one second, guys. Okay. So finally it is question number A and C is correct. Here 15 to 10 cube already we discussed about this, and here 5 by 6. After this 0.93. Let us discuss about 47th question. An iron bar of length L has magnetic moment capital M. It is bent at the middle point, okay, at an angle 60 degree. Observe carefully here. Say, after bending, the magnetic position is like this. North and south pole, initial magnetic situation. So here south and north will come. He given the information that it bent at a 60 degree angle. Now the moment direction is here south to north, and here also south to north. Angle between both the momentums is 120 degrees, and each momentum is now m by 2 because bent at midpoint. Two vectors equal in magnitude and angle between them is 120. So resultant is also equal to them. So m by 2. Fourth option, right? And the next one, 48. Velocity time graph is given. Let us first study about this velocity time graph. Observe here, up to here, the slope is constant. Slope constant means acceleration is constant. For this part, velocity constant means acceleration 0. For this part, again acceleration constant, but here acute angle, here obtuse angle. Means this is positive acceleration here, negative acceleration. Okay. Now let us study about its graphs. Positive acceleration, and which is constant up to certain time interval. And after that it is 0 because there is no acceleration. The negative acceleration which is constant up to certain time interval. So the first option is correct. 49. The property which is not of an electromagnetic wave traveling in free space. Which is not. Okay, observe carefully. They travel with a speed of light 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. Okay, correct. Second one. They originate from charges moving with uniform speed. Directly considered is wrong. They are transverse in nature, of course. The energy density for electric field to magnetic field, both are same. 50th question, if you can see, a force defined, F is equal to alpha t square plus beta t, and what we have to calculate from this, out of which option is dimensionless. Okay, for that let us use the principle of homogeneity. From that F is equal to alpha t square dimensionally, then m L t power minus 2 should be equal to alpha into t square. If you can observe from this alpha dimensional formula, m L t power minus 4. And again principle of homogeneity, F is equal to beta t dimensionally, then m L t power minus 2 should be equal to beta into t. From this beta dimensional formula, m L t power minus 3. So alpha to beta, if you observe, t power minus 4, t power minus 3. Means if I multiple alpha with t and divide both of them, there is a dimensionless. So alpha t upon b is a dimensionless quantity. Thank you so much, guys. I think so everyone did very well about this one. Today's session will be concluded by Mr. Deepak sir, and thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Naresh sir. So, before I conclude the session for today, congratulations to all our incredible Knowledge Hub team for the thorough explanation of all 200 NEET 2024 questions. Your dedication, expertise have been truly commendable. To all our viewers, thank you for joining on this journey. Stay tuned for more updates on NEET 2024, rank predictions and counseling tips, and also selecting the best medical colleges. Please do subscribe to our channel, and we are going to rock. We are going to provide all the information, all the detailed content about the competitive exams like IIT, JEE, NEET and the foundation courses as well. Together, we are going to strive and we are going to provide you all the valuable insights for your medical journey. Thank you so much. That's all for the day. Thank you for joining the session and watching, the video of the explanation or the discussion done by our faculty. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.